Sorry about that, guys. I had to sneeze come on there. Alright, so Monday afternoon. I apologize I wasn't at school today. I was feeling a little under the weather. Got the flu this weekend, so doing some recuperating today and just trying to get back on track here. So we're going to be going over graphing linear equations again. And it's something that we're going to have to fix. We need to do some serious work on graphing and equations of a line. You guys didn't quite get it the first time through it, so we're going to go through this again, and hopefully I can try to fix up a few things and make it run a little better for you. So I'm just going to call this Graphing Linear Equations 3. I thought you guys would like the redneck Batmobile here. So we're going to go over a few things again. So we got slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, and we know the slope is rise over run, which is y over x, and the thing that I've showed you to do before is whichever direction the y, if the y is positive, it goes up. If the x is positive, it goes to the right. And we also know that b is the y-intercept, which we're going to write as a point, 0, comma b. And the x value is always 0. The y value will always be b for the y-intercept. So when we graph a function like y equals negative 3x minus 2, again, you guys need to be prepared to have to figure out where to put your x and your y-axis. Now, on a problem like this, it doesn't so much matter. You're going to need all 4 quadrants anyways, because these functions will go all the way from one quadrant to the other. Okay, so I make my coordinates, my y-axis, my x-axis here. I'm going to start by finding the slope, which is negative 3. And according to what we learned, it's rise over run, so I have to put it over something. So I'm going to put it negative 3 over 1, which means I'm going to go down 3 since the y is negative and the x is positive, so I'm going to go to the right one. And I also know that b is negative 2, so I'm going to write that as a point, 0, comma, negative 2. This is where we're going to start our graphing at 0, negative 2. So I'm going to go to 0 and I'm going to go to negative 2 and I'm going to put a point. Now I'm going to use the slope and I'm going to go down 3 and I'm going to go to the right one. So 1, 2, 3, 1. I'm going to put a point. And I'm going to do that one more time. 1, 2, 3 to the right one and put a point. So this point was 1 and negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. So this was 1, negative 5. And this one will be 2 and negative 8. Okay, and actually if you notice, this was our first point, 0 and negative 2. The x increased by 1, so I added 1 to the x. And the y decreased by 3, so I subtracted 3. Now if I do that same thing again, I subtract 3 from negative 5, that puts me at negative 8. If I add 1 to 1, it gives me 2. So now I have my equation of the line. I mean, I have my graph for the equation. And I'm going to extend this all the way up. Put my arrowheads on it. And I'm going to label my points 2, negative 8. This is 1, negative 5. And this is 0, negative 2. And here's my graph. Okay. Make sure as you guys are doing these that you guys actually write these, come up with your own steps. I'm not going to give you credit anymore if you're not coming up with your own steps to do this. And then the other thing is if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me questions about this. So you might want to write them down if you come up with any while I'm working on this. Alright, for this one we're going to go through the same steps. So I'm going to find the slope, which is negative 2 over 3. Which means I'm going to go down 2 and I'm going to go right 3. My y-intercept is negative 1, which means I'm going to write it as a point, 0, negative 1. Start by graphing that first. And we got to do our x and our y-axis here. Got my X and my Y axis. And now we're going to graph the point 0, -1, which means I'm right here. Now I'm going to go just follow the slope. Down 2 and right 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Put a point. And remember, I could continue this, go this way, but I can tell my graph is going to go up here somewhere. So I can work backwards. So instead of going down 2, I can go up 2. And instead of going right 3, I can go left 3. 1, 2, 3. Which will put me right here. Here is my graph and my 3 points. I'm going to connect these with a line. Remember to use a ruler as you're doing yours. Put the arrowheads on. I need to label my points. Now this one, we went over 1, 2, 3 on the X, and I went down 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, or I went down 2 from here. From this one, I went up 2, so that's to 1, and the X value is -1, -2, -3. So I'm going to label these points 1, -3. Actually, that would be the other way around. My fault. This is -3 and 1. This one is 0, -1, and this one was 3 and -3. Okay, and that gives me my second graph. Okay, now we're going to go to example number 3, and this is what we call standard form, which we'll get more into when we're doing the equation of the line, but it's ax plus by equals c. In order to graph this, I need to put it in slope-intercept form, which means it needs to be y equals mx plus b. So in order to do that, I am going to have to get the y by itself, because just like in slope-intercept form, it's y equals mx plus b. I need to get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 4x to both sides to start. I get -3y equals -4x plus 9. Now I'm going to divide by -3, and I get y equals 4/3 x plus 3. Now that it's in slope-intercept form, you're going to follow the same rules. So you're going to start by finding the slope, which is 4/3, which means I go up 4 and I go right 3. My b is 3, which gets written as 0, 3. So we're going to start with that point, 0, 3, and we're going to put that point in. Now I'm going to use my slope, which is up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right 3. 1, 2, 3. And again, all I have to do is add this to it. So I added 3 to the x, which means this is going to be 3. And I added 4 to the y, which means this should be 7. So let's count it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that worked. Now I'm going to go backwards. So I started on 0, 3. I subtract 3 to the x. So I'm going to go to -3. Which is going to be 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which puts me right here. And if I subtract 4 to 3, that puts me at -1. I'm now going to connect these dots right here. And put the arrows on it. Label my points. This is 0, 3. This is 3, 7. And this was -3, -1. I now have my points, and now we're going to be done from here. So tomorrow you guys need to be ready to do some more graphing work tomorrow. I'll probably go over a little bit of this in class as well. But remember, write down your questions if you have any, and then also write down any steps that you need to follow. I'm going to be checking for these from now on. If you don't have them, you will not get credit on your notes anymore. I hope you guys have a great night tonight, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.